That's what I really want to see.
Yeah.
If it happens to him, how will he react?
How's he gonna react?
If he's going to react the way of, oh, that should never happen, blah, 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 then by that point I say I don't really care for him.
Ty Gibbs, Sam Mayer.
Yeah, I mean, kind of took him out.
The fact they've been racing each other for a long time. Oh, and there's a punt. Ty Gibbs going after Sam Mayer, and we've got a fight at Martinsville.
He ain't letting him go.
Let's just say he didn't take it very well.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
All right, getting into first gear. The fight with Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer.
Yes. Now, as you saw from the intro, we were just talking about last week. You know, I said the move he made last week wasn't necessarily bad, but it's just that he was a rookie.
The aggressive.
You know, and how would he take it? I said if he would take it good, then it's better. At least he's going to be able to take it. Obviously, we saw honestly. The move that Sam Mayer made was not much different at all than the move he made last week. He moved him, bumped him, and then got into him. Boom, moved him up the track. And guess what? He was ready to throw hands, and he did. Yep. And so, in my opinion, that's not what you do. I'm very disappointed in the way he acted. I know you can sit there and argue that, he was all up in my face, and that's why I had to fight, which was what he said. But if you look at the video, immediately when he gets out of the car, he immediately runs to Sam Mayer and pushes him, like right on the neck too. And so that's what started it, in my opinion. Then Sam Mayer became a man, took his helmet off. Ty Gibbs ran away as soon as he did that. In my opinion, I don't care. We're big Chase Elliott fans. I don't care if it's Chase Elliott with the most hated person in NASCAR. If Chase Elliott leaves the helmet on and the other person doesn't and he punches him, you automatically lose the fight if you keep your helmet on and the other guy has their helmet off. That's just my opinion. But I think it brings a scaredy cat trying to be tough mentality look to you, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I still
it's
fan of Ty Gibbs. Yeah. I still like the guy, but am disappointed with how he acted.
Yeah,
I think he let his emotions and temper get the best of him. But
if he just took his helmet off, it would be a lot better fight. But even Haley Deegan, when she got in the argument in the truck series with Lawless Allen, she took her helmet off.
Yeah.
And they started having an argument. And I get it, no person in their right mind, no man in their right mind is going to punch a girl. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're not going to want to do that.
It makes her look more tough.
It made her look more tough than Ty Gibbs did. And I wanted to say is I want NASCAR drivers to look tough, act tough, and be tough because they already get the reputation of they're not athletes, they don't do anything, all they do is sit in a car and drive. And when you keep your helmet on in the middle of a fight, it just looks like a scaredy cat wimp, in my opinion. And I don't want that. I want the NASCAR drivers to look tough.
Yeah, and like I said, I think he's going to learn from it, move on, and his attitude's going to get better to what happens to him, especially if he's going to keep giving it. Like I said, I'm still a fan of the guy. I like him a lot. I hope he moves on and he gets past his whole attitude issue that he had with that fight.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of Ty Gibbs. He's a talented driver. I think he'd be in Cup today and win. Mm-hmm. I really do. But you just have to learn some respect. You have to be with some restraint. He's still really young.
Yep.
And you have to have some respect out there, which leads us to shifting into gear number 2, is the aggression out there today. Is it good? Is it bad? Are we for it, against it? My take is I am on the fence. Because I'm for it. I want it to happen. I don't want that to just completely go away. The aggression in the sport has got to be there. That leads to entertainment. And we have to have some people, new fans, wanting to be in the sport, not just watch, cars go around in circles. There has to be something that attracts them to it as far as the aggression, the fights, the tempers. And that is good for the sport. But if it happens every single time, every single week, then it's hard to top it, you know what I mean? Then it gets aggressive, then it gets even more aggressive, then it gets even more aggressive, and before you know it, it could be a demolition derby, but everybody's so used to it that it's not entertaining anymore. You can't have it every single time, every single week, and you can't have it every single lap throughout the race. If you're working on them lap after lap after lap, and you cannot get around them, and it comes down to the last lap, and it's your last ditch effort, do the bump and run, move them, then that's fine.
Yeah,
but on lap 10, you can't be bumping people out of the way just because you can.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
so this is how I feel. Like, I think for stage wins, it's okay, and for the win, it's okay to use your front bumper. So I'm all for that aggression, using your front bumper, bump and run type of mentality. I'm okay with that, but you cannot be wrecking people on purpose just because you think you can get away with it. And so, in my opinion, there's a fine line, between that. And so I'm for it, but there's a fine line for me, and it cannot just be wreck everybody all the time for 10th place for it on the finish. Like, no. Now, I'm like with Sam Mayer and that situation that we're talking about in the first gear there. It's a little different because he's going for $100,000. I would also use my front bumper as much as I can for $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there's a fine line between if he was just racing and just did that and almost wrecked him for no reason, then that's frustrating. And so I think there's a fine line. Use your front bumper. Yeah, also have that, that's awesome. Have that aggression. But there's a fine line. Do not just spin out people on purpose just because you can.
Well, even going back to that incident, that was the last corner of the last lap. Yeah. And for $100,000, and that's where I said last ditch effort, go for it. That's fine. But also look at Ty Gibbs' reputation. He's only 18 years old. First full-time year in the Xfinity Series. He's already has the reputation of one of the most, if not the most, aggressive drivers out in the field right now. So of course, it's another thing for him is he's got to realize for him is nobody's going to give a care in the world if they wreck him because he's done it to everybody else. So nobody's going to care. They're going to bump him out of the way and move him and say, he did it to me.
Yep.
Did it to me 2 weeks ago. So what does it matter?
Yep.
That's why you have to use restraint for him. But anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I agree. For it 100%, there's just a fine line, in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
All right, shifting to the third gear now. Chase Elliott just cannot seem to figure out how to close the race.
He can't. Now, of course, we might be a little biased fans since we're Chase Elliott fans, but, he led almost the first half of the race. Literally, and we're thinking, man, he's going to drive away and go there. And I get it. There's some fall off in your car after a little while, but it's still the same point. It seems to be just week after week anymore. Is he could be really, really good, but he cannot figure out how to close the race. He's having trouble figuring out how to close it.
He still had a top 10 finish, finished 10th.
Yeah,
but it's just good. It's a solid, really good point state for him and everything. But it's so frustrating, especially being a fan. Yes, we're biased, but it's so frustrating when. He's having such a dominant day for the first whole half of the race, pretty much, and all of a sudden he just can't find it. And I don't know, stuff happens with the car, and you get work on it, but just for him not to even get back to the lead, it's just so frustrating because it's like, come on, be clutch. You have to be clutch, and it's just like it leaves all of us Chase Elliott fans wondering when is his first win of the year going to come? Is it going to come?
Yeah.
Will he be able to figure out how to close
it honestly reminds me. I'm a big Jeff Gordon fan, but reminds me of Jeff Gordon in 2010. Jeff Gordon, he would have all these dominant races, like Texas comes to mind in 2010, and him and Jimmy Johnson, that was the race him and Jimmy Johnson got into it, and they were battling back and forth and beating and banging and stuff. Then Jeff Gordon gets in a wreck with a handful of laps to go, doesn't win the race, finishes way back there, and the same thing happened time after time after time, especially that year, and it just reminds me of that, and that is Jeff Gordon's old team, which back then that's not his team. He got Chase Elliott's team in 2011, but still the same thing goes. Is time after time after time he could not close the deal, and Chase Elliott is just going the same way. And I know we're biased, so maybe we pay attention to it more, but it seems like he pits at the worst times. It's like I get that your car is broke or needs handling issues and needs to be worked on, but when you're fifth and you come down pit road with only 2 other cars to send you way back there for just because you're loose. Just because you're loose. It's like, okay, hang on to it for 20, 30 more laps and come when everybody else does. You won't lose the track position. But again, I'm not a professional crew chief. You know what I mean? They could have had other things going on.
I know some people are blaming Chase Elliott's crew chief for how he's doing, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think he's a great crew chief for Chase Elliott. But also, what many mistakes his crew has made?
I know. And that's another thing I was going to talk about.
And so it's like maybe maybe he needs a few replacements in the crew. You know, and like I think it was the Jack guy, the Jack man there. He's actually pretty good. He's saved him from penalties, stuff like that. So, I mean, they have good team members, but it's like some of them just keep making mistakes and put him way back in loose track position. And so it's like maybe they need to adjust something there. Or I don't even know. I mean, we're not professionals, but it's like something has to happen, right?
Yeah,
because he needs to figure it out.
Well, we all have to keep in mind that nobody's perfect. They're going to make mistakes. But when they make a mistake every single time on the very last pit stop, week after week after week,
something has to happen. Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, you're going to have to get something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what gets frustrating. But there's Ryan Blaney's pit crew's the same way. I mean, he's been struggling a lot this year too. I don't mean to just focus on Chase Elliott, just happens to be the topic of the segment. But anyway, they got to figure it out. They got to learn how to close these races. If they're of course, I think Ryan Blaney now is the points leader past Chase Elliott. They were tied coming in. But he's still doing good, you know what I mean, points wise. But points don't matter in this format. They don't.
He's got to get that win.
He's got to get the win, and he's just got to start performing, closing out the deal.
Yep.
Shifting right into gear number 4 is Denny Hamlin's struggles continue. He may have won last week, had a good time, but not just Denny Hamlin though, but Toyotas in general continue to struggle.
Yeah, our family fantasy standings that we do, I really thought the Toyotas were really I thought they're gonna be top 5 contenders, all of them, and so I kind of put them in my standings that we have, and I'm sitting here watching the race. I'm watching even some highlights and everything. I'm thinking, what in the world? Like Martin Truex Jr. at one point, I was sitting there like, where is he even? Yeah, 22nd. I'm like, that's not like Martin Truex Jr. at Martinsville. That's not. And like Denny Hamlin, it's like what?
3 out of the last 5 races, Martin Truex Jr.'s won.
And I'm like, that's just not like him. And then all Toyotas really almost all of them. They really struggled last night. So.
And of course Denny Hamlin had some parts really again, but again, I mean, that happens every week. They got to figure something out. Yeah. And like I said a couple weeks ago, I haven't really been picking Toyotas in our family standings because they have not showed me that they're good so far. Now, last week, I thought maybe they proved me wrong. Yeah. I literally just talking about it last week, maybe, that they proved me wrong, and they end up winning. But this week, it just shows again, this is their track. Besides Richmond, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and even Kyle Busch is really good and consistent at this track.
None of them really had the car.
No, none of them really had the car at all. And so they got to figure that out. They got to figure out what's going on there.
Will they figure it out? You know what I mean?
Like I said a couple weeks ago, I think it's going to be half a season before they really start turning it around. That's just my opinion. Yeah. It's my bold take on it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, only time will tell, but I mean, they're normally really good. So.
Yep.
All right, shifting in the 5th and final gear, the race overall.
Of course, my take is we talked about last week being kind of a little bit of a not very good race. Mm-hmm. This race, again, it's not a very good race. It's weird that everybody's calling for more short tracks, and it seems to be the 3 worst races this year so far has been all shorter tracks. Yep. Phoenix included that's a mile long, but it's all been shorter tracks. So I don't think it's a product of the car necessarily. I do think they have some stuff to learn on the car. But maybe there's an adjustment there too that maybe would work better if they changed the car. I don't know, but I think it's just it was a Martinsville race.
I was excited.
You can blame it on the cold temperatures. Blame it on the shifting. They haven't done that. Yeah. Maybe they were trying to take it a little bit easier since they were trying to get used to shifting in Martinsville. I don't know what it was, but this race only had 1 incident for caution, and even that he hit the wall. And it's debatable whether or not the caution should have came out or not. He did hit the wall. I can't say that just got up out of the groove and there was a caution there. He did hit the wall, so go from that. But that was the only incident for caution, if I remember. So
I was pretty excited for this race. I love Martinsville, but it just wasn't the most exciting of races. And I personally almost think that maybe they're just trying to learn the car to the point of they're a lot more careful because they want to learn the car more than what they want to be as aggressive as we speak of being aggressive. But I almost feel like next year, whole different story. I almost, in my opinion, or even the Bristol night race or something at the end of the year, the one in September or whatever it will be. That will be a lot more better because they're going to be more used to their cars by then. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, to me, it's like they're just learning that all these new tracks I haven't been to yet with this car. Yeah. It's like maybe they're almost too careful because they just don't know how far they can push this car yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that is true. I don't know if I had to put it on a scale. I'd say I'd rate this race. Last week, I think I gave it a 50, maybe 55% because of the finish was good. This one didn't even really have that good of a finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it did have overtime, and stuff like that, but not really anything happened. I'd probably rate this. I'd probably still rate it about 50%. I'll probably give it about the same score as last week. It still is Martinsville, and I said it was under the lights. I said last week if they put Richmond under the lights, it'd probably go up 10%. And so maybe I'll bump it up a little bit for that. But the cars look good and everything. I love watching night races. It's just something about it. I love Saturday night races.
Yep.
But again, just nothing happened. It was just, and like I said last week, same thing can apply. Without the stage breaks, this thing could have went caution free.
Mm-hmm. It really could have. Yeah.
It really could have.
And
So you don't know.
I'm going to agree. I'll give it 50. Definitely could have been better. I mean, it could have been worse, but so I'm just going to give 50 right in the middle. But I don't know. I was definitely looking forward to it being exciting a bit more than what it was. Yeah. But I mean, it's okay. Obviously, I love NASCAR. I'm always going to love watching the race. But so I'll give it 52. It was nice to have an overtime finish, so a little bit of anxiety, exciting at the end there. But I think I'll give it a 50 as well.
And like I said, the cars under the lights look awesome, except for William Byron's paint scheme.
Yeah, that was...
I don't know what's going on with that paint scheme, but it just looks like a test car. So it doesn't really work very good for a night car, but I don't know. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
Anyway,
people probably love it.
Thank you for watching the third episode now of Shifting Gears. We'll be doing this every single week. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment, click the bell.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. So.
Yeah, let us know what you think. What can we do better? Let us know what you think. If you liked it, like I said, like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.